BCSO Sheriff John Allen taking accountability for what he describes as a disservice to the community.
What these deputies did, and I'm very blunt with it, they gave all the cop haters fuel. Because it makes everybody around the nation look like crap. I have had calls from chiefs and sheriffs from all over the nation. It's just not locally here. It makes everybody look like crap in law enforcement.
So the reason why that New Mexico sheriff, whose name is Bernalillo County Sheriff John Allen, is so upset.
You tripping, bro. You tripping.
Loud noises!
Well, it was discovered that his department, along with the Albuquerque, New Mexico Police Department, was involved in a long-standing DWI scandal.
That's terrible.
It's in their nature. They can't help it.
Right to jail.
That, according to federal court documents and according to criminal convictions and guilty pleas, began back in the 1990s and continue into 2023.
Maybe we could call the police.
These are the police.
Yikes. It's problematic at best.
Which means that you're talking about potentially 33 years of police officers and sheriff's deputies, particularly from the Bernalillo County Sheriff's Department, who were bribed to get people out of DWI charges, or if they pulled someone over and they happened to be drunk, rumor has it that you could just pay an Albuquerque police officer or a Bernalillo County Sheriff's deputy a little bit of cash and you could just keep driving even though you were drunk.
Then that's very illegal.
Well, that's your tax dollars at work.
And folks, once again, this was happening for over 30 years potentially.
Well, it's illegal, but very clever.
And so the Bernalillo County Sheriff, whose name once again is John Allen, was so upset not just because of the scandal, but because some of his own folks were caught in that scandal. Like, for example, you had Sheriff John Allen's right-hand man, Under Sheriff Johan Urano, who resigned because he was implicated in the DWI enterprise scandal. Oh, but it wasn't just him. This also involves the New Mexico State Police, which means that you had 3 law enforcement agencies who were all working in concert to pervert the course of justice by letting drunk drivers keep driving if they had the cash, or charge innocent people with DWI and force them to pay, or you had somebody who might have actually been drinking and driving, but you allowed them to give you some cash under the table, which, as you might imagine, is not legal.
That's bullshit.
It's problematic at best.
And this went well beyond law enforcement. You had the former defense attorney, whose name is Thomas Clear, who pled guilty to federal bribery, extortion, and racketeering charges in connection to the DWI enterprise scandal. And you also had Ricardo Mendez, who also pled guilty to very similar charges. But Thomas Clear was a very interesting case because when he pled guilty, he said the scheme actually encompassed, and I'm gonna quote, almost the entire, end quote, Albuquerque Police Department unit that was charged with going after drunk drivers.
Tell me I did not just see that.
That sounds a tad suspicious.
Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious.
And so you might be wondering, why is it that in every clip that I showed of Sheriff John Allen, he seems so defensive, but also strangely nervous?
That sounds a tad suspicious.
Well, that's because the FBI is looking into him as well, because if you remember that Ricardo Mendez guy, well, here's a picture of Ricardo Mendez and Sheriff John Allen, and the photo was taken in February of 2023, and what makes the photo even more interesting is that Johan Urano, who was Sheriff John Allen's right-hand man who was also implicated in the DWI enterprise scandal, is standing right behind the sheriff in that picture.
Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious.
And so now we gotta look through all the officers that this scandal has entrapped so far. You have Henrio Albert Jr., who worked for the Albuquerque Police Department, who got a target letter stating that he's gonna be investigated, and he resigned on February 29th of 2024. Another Albuquerque police officer, Matthew Chavez, who was on leave after he got his target letter. You have Kyle Curtis, who got a target letter, and he was on leave as of January 24th of 2025, and he retired on January 27th of 2025 of this year. You have Darren D. Aguilera, who got a target letter, and then he resigned on April 30th of 2024. Then you have Neil Ellsman, who was on leave, and then he resigned on June 31st of 2024. And then we move over to Lieutenant Lieutenant Justin Hunt, a supervisor, and he got a target letter and he resigned on February the 7th of 2024. And then you have Harvey Johnson, who got his target letter and he resigned on March 13th of 2024. And then you have a commander, Mark Landavazo, who was put on leave but then fired on August 1st of 2024. And then you have retired police officer Timothy McCarson, who retired in 2022, but he got placed on the Giglio list on January 25th of 2025 this year. And despite his retirement, he is now implicated in the DWI Enterprise scandal. So nice try, sir, but your retirement did not protect you.
Oh, you almost had it. You're gonna be quicker than that.
And then you have Joshua Montano, who resigned on February 29th of 2024. And then we move over to Nelson Ortiz, who resigned on March 15th of 2024. And then you have Deputy Commander Gustavo Gomez, who was on leave as of October 16th of 2024. And I think he really should resign. And then you got Matthew Trahan, who got his target letter and then he resigned on April 30th of 2024. And then you have Bernalillo County Sheriff's Deputy Jeff Hammerl, who was placed on administrative leave as of January 23rd, 2025 of this year.
Pretty damn bad, huh?
It's in their nature. They can't help it.
These are the police.
It's a tad suspicious.
This is America.
Don't catch you slipping now.
Oh, that's your tax dollars at work.
It's business as usual.